سلام الحب لأهل الحب والتقدير، سألت قلوبكم عن حبها المدرار، وش اللي في إمارات المحبة غير، وش اللي في إمارات المحبة غير.
صوتك غن وانقل صوتك التعبير، تدار عيال زايد والقلوب الخير، نحب أرض الإمارات وأهاليها، وفيها نحس إن الدنيا لسه بخير. We love everyone who loves my UAE، فيها نحس إن الدنيا لسه بخير، وفيها نحس إن الدنيا لسه بخير.
من عيوني بصور صادق الإحساس، وأغني عن مشاعركم يا أغلى الناس.
Welcome to the Emirates Investments TV program. Children remain the center of our attention. We treat them with an utmost care. Among what they deserve, education is priority. That's why we made our way to Khalifa City in Abu Dhabi to meet with Miss Salima Janaini Taimur, the principal of the Learning Spaces Nurseries. Miss Salima Janaini Taimur, the principal of the Learning Spaces Nurseries, we do have the privilege to host you today in our program.
Thank you very much for having me part of the show. This is a great opportunity for Learning Spaces Nursery. Learning Spaces Nursery is located in Khalifa City A in Abu Dhabi. Thank you.
You are welcome indeed. In the beginning of the program, let's get to know you better through your academic life and career.
So my name is Salima Al-Ganaini Taimur. I come from Switzerland. I came here to Abu Dhabi in 2007 along with my family and my two daughters who are now 17 and 12 years old. I started my career in education about 18 years ago, where I started as a teacher assistant in a French school. I hold both level 3 and level 5 diploma in childcare, along with a bachelor degree in early years education.
Well, fine. All of our children remain the center of our attention, as I said before, and we consider them the dream of yesterday, the hope of today, the builders of tomorrow. Here, their parents wait for you to contribute something to their future. So, what does the Learning Spaces Nurseries contribute to the tomorrow's generation?
Nurseries are very important milestones for all the children when they start their educational and learning journey. We are here at LSN to support the development of all the children, and especially what I like to call the ABC of life, meaning that we want them to become independent, resilient, and active learners. Along with that, it is very important, and this is part of our role, we make sure that they become socially active, that they interact well with both children and adults and form positive relationships. We are also here, as all nurseries, to help the children in growing their personalities and making sure that their personalities stays the same. We don't want to change a child. A child is unique, and we are just here to enhance their personalities. All of this are very important qualities that we would like all of LSN children to have, as they are the future generation of tomorrow and the leaders of tomorrow.
Well, it was a very interesting point, the ABC of life, and tomorrow, the grammar life. Well, regarding registration and the process follows, would you reveal on us the average age for admission? At what age do you admit children?
Learning Spaces Nursery takes children from 45 days all the way through 4 years old. We are very proud to have a big space, and we have all the facilities in order to cater for young children. We do have sleeping rooms for the babies, we have a full-fledged kitchen, we have an indoor play area, an indoor water play area, and a library. Our classes are amongst the biggest within nurseries in Khalifa City. All of them have 1 or 2 bathrooms attached along with a kitchenette. Now we also have a very nice outdoor space that caters for all the physical activities for the children. However, along with that, it helps them in all their development, as we have slides, we have sand pits, we have water areas, and we also have musical instruments, which is really nice, and the children love being outdoor all the time, obviously.
Well, quite good enough. Any foundation for sure seeks the best methods to empower efficiently, to compete effectively. So how about your approach and with the way of teaching? How about your curriculum?
Learning Spaces Nursery follow the early years foundation stage curriculum, which is the British curriculum, along with a Radio Emilia approach. This educational philosophy was developed in Italy after World War II. Radio is based under the principles of respect, community, and self-taught learning through a curriculum that is led by the children. So back in the days when a teacher would come and present a theme to the children, they would tell them what the activities they were going to do. Now with radio, we do present the themes to the children. However, we ask the children what do they want to learn out of this theme. Like that way they have control over their learning. And I do believe that this is a very interesting and a very important component of the education of tomorrow.
Well, not away from the previous question, families have a profound role in bringing up the children. In what ways is the Learning Spaces Nurseries available for communication with parents for the best of the young children here today?
Communication and collaboration between the nursery and the parents is very important, as the parents are the children's first educators. We do have a very big sense of community. We do approach the children and the parents as an open door policy, meaning that we are making ourselves available and support the parents and the children as best of our capabilities. This is very, very important. We know all the parents, we know all the children by their names, and this is a family style environment that we like to present for all the newcomers with the Learning Spaces Nursery. Along to that, it is very important because we are still an educational facility. We do monitor and observe as well as assess the children all throughout the year to make sure that their development is carried through according to their age and their milestones. So observations are done regularly within the classroom by the teachers, by the coordinator, overlooked by myself as the principal. And we do have reports that we give to the parents 2 times a year. The first one is usually at the end of term 1, meaning beginning of January, and the second one is given at the end of the school year in June.
Ms. Salima Janani Taimur, we know the recruitment of nurses and teachers is a part of any foundation's success, no doubt. What is the process of hiring your staff and the way of selecting your employees?
So working in nurseries and in the educational field in general in the UAE and especially in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, staff have requirements and minimum academic diplomas that they need to have in order to work for nurseries. Here at LSN, we do ask our teacher assistants to have a minimum of a level 2 diploma in childcare along with 2 years experience within the same field. We do ask our teachers to have a minimum of a level 3 diploma in childcare along with 5 years minimum experience within the field. And we do have a nurse that is appointed by us because we're very proud to have a licensed clinic within the nursery, which is not very common. Usually nurseries outsource their nurse, but we do have our own nurse, and she also needs to be a minimum of 5 years qualified and obviously have the necessity approvals from the authorities. Now, we are very proud to be opened since 2014, and all the TAs that started and opened the nurseries are still with us, meaning that they have a lengthy experience within nurseries already. We also are very proud to have many of our teachers that have more than 5 years experience, and some of them have bachelor degrees in education.
Well, now let's talk about the buzzword now is coronavirus. Indeed, it has caused a devastating damage and people haven't recovered yet. It plays a major setback. So concerning the outbreak of COVID-19, how did you manage to get around, and how did both children and their parents come to react?
The world shut down, and as nurseries shut down. Now, we were very lucky that the Abu Dhabi authorities allowed nurseries to reopen in October 2020. The reopening of nurseries came with their own challenges, right? Because the reopening required to have strict hygiene and health and safety protocols to follow, and everything was put in place by the relevant authorities. Now, we were very lucky to be one of the first nurseries to reopen in October. We made sure that we followed through all strict hygiene and protocol. We also had to change a lot of things in the design of the nursery itself, in the setup of the classrooms, alongside with anything that is relevant to drop off and pick up. So let me guide you through a daily routine under strict measures for hygiene. Parents would usually come within the nursery and drop their children in the classroom. This is no longer applicable during COVID. So the children are dropped outside of the nursery at the entrance. They are checked with temperature by our nurse. They also need to hand sanitize themselves, and one appointed staff from their specific classroom comes and takes the child into the nursery. The same process is done for the pickup time.
Well, finally, could you give a piece of advice to the parents?
An advice for the parents would be that don't worry, take your time. Your child is going to grow eventually. They will be potty trained, they will walk, they will speak, they will read, they will write. It is very important to nurture every milestone of a child's life. Some children are going to have a faster development in a different area than another. It doesn't mean that your child is less able than another. No, it's just that your child has to follow his or her own stage of development. And as I always say to all the parents, don't worry, everything will be fine. Just take your time, one step at a time, and follow them.
Miss Salima Janaini Taimur is the principal of the Learning Spaces Nurseries. It was our pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you very much for having me. It was my pleasure, and hopefully a lot of information came through, and we are happy to see any parents coming within the nursery at Learning Spaces. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our show. Thank you for patiently watching. Emirates Investment TV program will be back. See you next.
سلام يا كرام قلوبنا والدار، سلام الحب لأهل الحب والتقدير. سألت قلوبكم عن حبها المدرار، وش اللي في إمارات المحبة غير، وش اللي في إمارات المحبة غير.
صادق خلنا وينقل صادق الكعبير، لدار عيال زايد والقلوب الخير. نحب
أصور صادق الإحساس وأغني